Alright, so question number 2. Who do you think was the first band to cross over metal and punk? Now that's pretty vast. And I'll start with the earlier answer. So in the 70s, I think in England especially, I've seen an interview with Iron Maiden where I think the bass player, maybe somebody else, and they were talking about how they wanted to write some stuff that you know, they wanted to appeal to punk rockers too at that time. So not only being, you know, Iron Maiden obviously being like very early for the new wave of British heavy metal bands, but they were also inspired by early British punk and most likely U.S. punk, because it's they go together for sure. But yeah, I've heard an interview with Iron Maiden where one or two of them are talking about, you know, definitely they were into some punk, and there's, you know, stuff on the first couple Iron Maiden records that it's parts of songs that are definitely punk rock. So I know that's not really answering the question of who was the first band to cross over metal and punk. You know, we're talking more about hardcore. But that is true, you know. I mean, Motorhead too, of course, you know. I mean, there were a lot of the early British bands or British metal bands were influenced by punk rock too, you know. That's a fact. As much as they probably didn't get along, you know, like the metalheads and the punks in England and in the U.S., they definitely were influenced by each other, whether they liked it or not. Okay, now we're going to move ahead. Okay, so early 80s, some bands that really stuck out to me, like Discharge, Hear Nothing, See Nothing, Say Nothing, it's not a metal record, but it's got a metal edge to it at times, you know, like very slight. But then you have bands like, so you get like super early 80s, you have bands like Celtic Frost, which you listen to early Celtic Frost, and they have some stuff that's faster, that's I mean, I would have to say, like, Celtic Frost being just about the first, I think that's about 1981-ish, that really, like, touched on the first crossover metal punk band. Even that they were more metal, I think that, I don't know, anyway, we'll move on here. Obviously, The Accused, so The Accused reforms with Blaine in like 85-ish, and calls their style splatter rock. And that corresponds about the same time as like early Voivod, Suicidal Tendencies. You know, then you have Metallica, which You know, again, it's like a band that's considered a metal band, but yet their sound wouldn't have been what it was in the beginning without punk rock. That's just a fact. I mean, those guys would absolutely say that, you know. Let's see some other bands. You know, early, so, let's see. Early DRI, and there's a lot of bands. Voivod, War and Pain, you know, that was like 1980. I'll have to look. I want to say 83 or something. So yeah, I mean that question can become pretty broad with, you know, the answers and influences, but it really does stem back to the 70s, because some of the first new wave of British heavy metal bands were also inspired by punk rock. Whether they admit it or not, you know, there has been some that have mentioned that. So, yeah, so that is kind of a shorter answer. One of my favorite crossover punk metal bands is definitely Holy Terror, I would have to say. And there's bands like the Crumbsuckers, but you know, I mean, you're getting to like 86, 87. You know, we need to get back to about 81, 82 was, you know, a band like, even like Venom, like Welcome to Hell. God, that's like, you listen to Welcome to Hell and you listen to Discharge, Hear Nothing, See Nothing, Say Nothing, and you know, they're similar in ways. You know, they're really abrasive, they're really intense, they're, you know, and then it's also like you gotta put like Ace of Spades in there, Motorhead, for sure. So, okay, well, cool. That's a long answer, though it could be longer. There may have been, I'm sure there's some stuff I missed I'll have to cover again. All right. Yeah, see, I'm already thinking of more stuff that, yeah. Anyway, all right.